Have you ever taken a moment and thought about a career in gaming? If you don't consider yourself a gamer, you probably think that's crazy. But the truth is, this industry is so all-encompassing, and not just for people who have a specialized knowledge of gaming. Whether you're someone who loves math and wants to be a programmer, or you're an artist and maybe interested in animation, from marketing to human resources to product development, there really is something for everyone. Oh, and by the way, it pays really well, it's creative, and it is incredibly fun.
Mitu Kandekar is a professor of gaming at NYU's Game Center. She says she loves teaching undergrads the ins and outs of gaming, but what she is really thrilled by are the older adults she sees coming in for their masters in gaming.
Our MFA program actually, has folks who've basically come from existing professional practices like other industries to retrain as a game designer. So we've had folks who are architects, we've had folks who are, economists, we've had folks who are playwrights, there's all kinds of different backgrounds. And I would say that all of those different types of backgrounds actually inform you really well as a game designer. For instance, there's a lot of similarities between theater and game design, actually, because you're thinking about how characters move in a space, for instance, right? And how a story is conveyed.
She also has her entrepreneurship hat on as founder of Glow Up Games, a gaming startup led entirely by women of color. The startup recently claimed the top prize at the Pitch Perfect competition at the Wing.
What we want to do is not only change the pipeline and inspire young girls to be game developers, but we also want to make sure that the industry is a better place for women when they get here.
So how do women get here? And what exactly does here really mean? As Marianne Wilson of Facebook is quick to point out, gaming has evolved in extraordinary ways over the past few years, and so have the opportunities for job seekers.
Gaming no longer is, the teenage boy in somebody's basement playing, first-person shooters, although that's certainly fine. It's now moms that are waiting for their son or daughter to be picked up from elementary school. It's people on public transportation that have had a long, stressful day at work. It's professionals. It's really a wide range of people now that are turning to games to just kind of relax a little bit. And I think the evolution of that has really changed how we market games, how we make games, and how we consume games going forward.
And that's where women come in. The thing is, there are so many career options that many people just don't know about. Jobs that don't specifically require technical skills. Heather Chandler has a great perspective on the industry. She's been in gaming for decades, having served as one of the original producers of the mega hit Fortnite.
I have a career that spans over 20 years in the video game industry. I have worked on over 40 games on every platform imaginable. When I was growing up, I know that I was really interested in math, science, and art. I ended up getting a degree in art history in college because that's really where my passion was. And then when I graduated, I was looking for something that kind of fulfilled my need to have technology and art, and I happened to get an entry-level job at Activision. And when I was there, I had the opportunity to really see and understand how games were made, and I realized you didn't just have to be a programmer. You can be a producer, you can be an artist, you can be a designer, you can work in the marketing department. So if a woman is looking for something after she's been out of the workforce for a while, there are certainly lots of options to look at in the game industry.
Heather's work over her career shows just how deep and life-changing a career in the gaming industry can be, not only for creators and players, but for communities as well. She speaks about a special gaming project she's worked on called Never Alone, which is near and dear to her heart. It focuses on the indigenous culture of Alaska.
This was a 3D platformer game that we developed in partnership with the Cook Inlet Tribal Council up in Alaska. And the goal for them was to make a game that shared their Inupiat culture with the outside world.
In Never Alone, players take on the roles of a young tribal girl and an Arctic fox in a puzzle that combines traditional stories, settings, and characters that have been handed down over generations.
These are the things that as a game developer I really love, because as we look for more diversity in the game industry, certainly having people who traditionally haven't made games but to say, hey, I have this idea and I want to share my culture and I want to make a game from it, really helps open up the door so that other people realize that they can make games too.
Gaming as a cultural unifier? Well, the people who worked on this game weren't all programmers. This was a diverse team comprised of tribal elders, artists, storytellers, and other community members, as well as game industry veterans. The varied talents required to bring this game to life were wide-reaching. As far as getting more women into leadership positions in gaming, Heather believes that when companies start to focus on work-life balance and the needs of women, we will see more women in the gaming industry.
Is making sure that the company is flexible about their working policies. You know, I've talked with women that once they have children and they need to start nursing, that, you know, they need to have a place where they can do that at the office and they don't want to feel weird or awkward about it.
It's those very types of issues that Me Too Kandaker is tackling head-on with her all-female team at Glow Up Games.
With Glow Up Games, what we're trying to do, you know, as an all-women founded company, is try to model what a female-friendly games company can look like. If you look at the sort of culture of a lot of game development studios, it's often not very conducive to people being parents and mothers, etc. So, you know, one of the things is allowing flexibility and, you know, working from home. You know, we're mostly a remote team right now with a small base here in New York. Just fostering flexibility in terms of working practices is a really big part of it. The other part of it is really about the kinds of games that we choose to make.
In the end, most women agree this will be a long-term effort, but one worth fighting for.
It's just there's not very many of us, and we need to find more tools and more resources to allow us to communicate and connect with one another, whether that's through a lean-in circle, whether that's through a group or any kind of community that we build on Facebook or off. And I'd love to have us have more opportunities to really connect with our community of female leaders. Women should be at the forefront, whether they be in marketing or in sales or in leadership roles. I think that how we market games to women is also indicative of the games culture out there. And whether you're a male or a female, a career in gaming is a career that is a lifelong opportunity. So I would encourage any female to come into the space and really grow with the industry.
I hope these stories have inspired you in some way to take a look at the gaming industry. As you'll see on the site, there are so many amazing job openings at some of the biggest companies around the world. It may take time, but chances are you have the talent to tap into a world you never knew existed. So check out the gaming jobs, talk to other women, and get creative as we move into this exciting future together.